There we go. That's what it does with the steering. Left, right, left, right. 2015 Hyundai i20 with no fault codes and a very weird issue. The steering apparently just pulls to the side, and supposedly it's like to the point where the customer cannot hold the steering wheel. It's essentially just doing that, and like you're driving her to the ditch. 86,000 kilometers on it. Oh, sorry, miles. Must be an English car. Well, it is an English car. Is it miles? Hello and welcome to another Bodgit and Leggit video. Now we have this Hyundai. I've done a full scan and there is absolutely no fault codes. I do have a fault code from the other garage. Another garage passed this job on to me, and I'll put it up on the screen. But I think it's got nothing to do with the electronic steering. I think it's got something to do with ABS. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this for a drive. We're going to go into the ABS side of things. We're going to look at all the ABS sensors, and we're going to see if we can see anything weird as we're driving, and we're going to go from there. Right, instantly I know what's wrong with this. I was just pulling out of a driveway and I was just going to get straight before I turn the camera on, and that is me just literally pulling out, just turning the wheel. Look at that trace. So two of the traces are kind of okay. The third one has got a little bit weird, so that's the green one, which is the right front, but the wheels were turned, so you'd expect different speeds coming once the wheel is turned. But look at that is the right rear. Look at the right rear, just all over the shop. And then as I stopped to because I was like, whoa, look, the right rear just spiked and I wasn't going anywhere. So yeah, that's our issue, just as I thought. Right, I don't think I'm gonna be able to catch this again. Look, the traction control light's on and the ABS light's on, which is a good thing because that means it matches up with our data. For some reason now, why isn't this connecting to the vehicle? Connect, you bastard. Well, let me get all this done. I don't know what's happened, why it's not connecting. The vehicle is... Oh, hold on. No. There's no communication with the pump now. Oh, hold on a second. Let me see if there's error codes. Because maybe... Wow. There's no communication. Hold on a second. Maybe we've got more problems. No response. Wow. Maybe we've got an ABS pump issue or module. Wow. Okay, the plot thickens. Right, there's no green clusters in here, so there's nothing wrong with that in that sense, but I have a feeling that the module is going to be bad. Okay, we have to be careful now before we condemn the module. So I basically disconnected it, as you could see, to make sure there was no green clusters in it, and I put it back together and instantly the module came back alive. So what could have happened is this sensor that is dodgy, because I've come back into it and unfortunately it's changed all the colors around. It hasn't kept the original color settings. But anyway, it could be that sensor just knocks out the whole system and the car goes into like a limp safe mode. So we are now more or less straight. This glare on the screen's horrible. Let's see that a bit better. Nope, I need to get it where there's no glare. Screen glare's like fuck, it's so annoying. Let me just drive straight in a driveway and see if it's going to behave itself now. No, it still didn't. And what one's that one? Hold on. It still didn't. look. Still not behaving itself. Right, so I'm now basically straight in her driveway. The steering wheel is dead straight, and all I'm going to do is put it in first gear and just pull off. Oh, it's gone already. Look at that. Bang, that spiked, and straight away lights come on instantly. And now look, lost communication with the module. Interesting. I wonder if I turn this off, turn it back on again. Has that reset the module? That's reset the module, which I now guarantee you has reset this. Yep. See if we can just go straight now and then freeze frame it. No, it's gone again. Instantly gone. It's the right rear sensor. Definitely you can see it. 100% it's gone again. Turn it off. Turn it back on again. See, the problem is the other garage wasn't getting this fault. He was getting a different fault code, and like I said, I'll put up on the screen, and it was to say it was a communication error with the electric power steering. But when I saw the fault code, I think it was a C fault code, I can't remember, but it definitely wasn't a U fault code, and a U fault code is communication CAN bus error. It wasn't a communication U fault. It was either a C or a P fault code, which led me to believe it had nothing to do with that and more to do with ABS. And in this particular case, I was right. Right, let's just see if we can go forward now. I want to try and get a nice capture. Now it's working perfectly. Look at that. Now that sensor is working perfectly. Would you Adam and Eve it? So it's an intermittent. Yeah, 100% exactly the same. Let's see. I'm going to turn the wheel now, which is going to. Oh no, it spiked. Look, see, it spiked. It spiked there. It's not doing it, lad. Let me drive this and see if we can get it to do it. Absolutely typical, look. It is behaving perfectly like it should do. But lucky enough, we caught it on camera, so we know where we're going. But now, it's absolutely perfect. But at least we've got our information, so we know where we're going. I'm here to do the bearing, but I want to show you this. This is what it does. Most won't do it now. Need to get straight. Right, watch the steering wheel. You okay? Ready? It's not doing it. Come on. Unbelievable. It was doing it for me a second. There we go. That's what it does with the steering. Left, right, left, right, left, right. Excellent. So, always a good trick. Chock your wheels with a wheel chock. Obviously use a jack, use an axle stand, but also good practice. Put the wheel underneath the car too, just in case. Can I get this off without taking the spring off? That's the question. That is the question. So I'm going to move the ABS. That's the ABS wire. Now we've got to remove, I think it's going to be the easiest thing to remove is the handbrake. Oh, it's the handbrake inside the fucking disc. Oh, I hate this setup. It's shit. Right, we're behind now. So this is the caliper and carrier. We're going to take off everything together, move it out of the way, and then hopefully we get the disc off, and then it's just 4 bolts. It's a simple job, but it's kind of awkward the way it's set up. So let's remove these first. Can this get in? I do love the power of this gun. For a 3/8 gun, it's bloody powerful. Right. Push back the piston a bit. Can we push back the piston? Is it a wind back or is it a push back? Depending on how tight the brake shoes are in here, we might get away with it. I didn't bring, because this could come off with, I'm just taking off the little Phillips screw that holds on the brake disc. Give a few slaps with the hammer, it loosens it up, or get the Phillips screwdriver in and hit the Phillips screwdriver and turn it at the same time. I've done loads of videos on that. No, it's not going to work. Didn't think it would, but now that's pushed back. It should come off. Very handy. There we go. Wedge that in there. It's going to be on our way, but for the minute, it should be alright. No. Fuck. I was hoping this wouldn't be seized. Well, not seized, but hoping I wouldn't have to adjust the brakes, but I'm going to. Right, you're not going to be able to see this next bit because there's just no room, or there's no light. Done loads of videos on it. We're going to take off this little rubber mount here, and inside there is the adjuster. We're going to slacken off the shoes, which will allow me then to get this disc out, and then in turn get the wheel bearing off. Right, so we got that off, and there is the adjuster I was talking about. Oh, no, just in a bit better. See that adjuster wheel there? So you screw that in, and that allows the brake shoes to come in, and then we need to adjust it back out. But we've got 4 14mm bolts at the back of this wheel bearing, which you can see here. Where are we looking? So here, here, down there, and down there. Simple enough, but it's not, because the rear spring is in the way and the rear exhaust is in the way. So I'm not going to be able to get you in here to film this because it's going to be in the way, but all I'm going to do is I'm going to use either the 3/8 gun, I'm not 100% sure yet, or the 1/2 inch gun. We're going to be using some extensions, but what's really going to help you out is this little wobbly extension. So that's going to hopefully be able to get us to a point where we can fit guns in and all sorts of stuff. That's all 1/2 inch stuff. I've got the same for the 3/8, but I don't know which one I'm going to use. So let me just try and get these off. Like I said, you're not going to be able to see it because I can't put the camera anywhere. It's just literally loosening off them 4 bolts. That'll give you an idea of the importance of that angle piece, because otherwise it's right there, which is right in the middle of this spring. So it's not above it and it's not below it. But now, well, I can actually make it above or below, but I can also just kick it to the side, which means I can get the small extension and I can get the big gun to zip that off. Lovely. All right, I can kind of get one in here. You'll see the importance of the angles that we need to get. Of course, the one I try and film, I can't fucking do it. I just got the other 2 off perfect, and I'm trying to film it, And because it's so awkward, this is the problem why I can't film anything. I need a fucking cameraman. I've maybe rounded that bolt and damaged it now. Oh, all to try and get a fucking YouTube shot. Right, and now it's off. I've just done that trying to hit it with the hammer because I'm hoping now gonna just try and hit that through. But it's now, I'll show you on the new one where it actually seizes onto the back brake part, or the back brake dust shield. But no, sometimes it can also seize in here, depend on the car how it's done, but it doesn't really run on there, it kind of runs inside on there. So just going to smash this out with a hammer, hopefully, fingers crossed, and then yeah, we get the new one in. Right, this is a bit rudimentary, but it works. So we've smashed off this back part, which is the sensor, and now all I'm doing is I'm hitting on the ring, and it's coming out actually really easy. I'm only using a small hammer. I was hitting in and around the rim to push the rim down. Now the rim's gone past this, so I can't use that. I'm just going in the middle, see? Really wasn't that difficult, to be fair. So it looks rudimentary, but I really wasn't hitting it that hard. And you can see where it actually seizes on that part there. So we're gonna obviously replace the whole thing. Looks like the pickup was okay. I've obviously damaged that, so we've definitely got more of a problem with the sensor than with the actual wheel bearing, or the pickup should I say. It was more the sensor. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to clean all this, get a wire brush on a drill, clean all inside there for the new one to go on, and just put the new one on. Simples. I put a bit of grease on there, even though I can assure you here and now, by the time you need to replace that little bit of grease I'm going to put on there is going to make no fucking difference taking it off. But I'm still going to put it on, even though I know it's not going to make any difference. Lovely. Some grease on that now. Right, so we've got to figure out if there's like a left and a right, in the sense of sometimes these can only fit one way, and in this case this can fit both ways.
That's what she said.
But the sensor, you see here, was clipped from this side, so I'm essentially going to put it in that way. So that one now, I know what I need to do. I need to get that in. Oh, get it in here first. There we go, that's all the way in. Now, get it in there. And there we go. What I've got to now do is just put the bolts in from the back. Right, it is on. So what I've got to do now is I've just got to double check that the bolts are tight, and put all the discs back on and everything, and obviously check everything. But what you want to do, 1,000,000%, I've said it in a lot of my videos, when you're dealing with more than one bolt on something, so say you've got a bracket and there's 3 bolts, 5 bolts, 10 bolts, whatever it is, get all the bolts in first before you tighten any, because there is a bit of movement on here, and you can get one bolt in and tighten up, and the other 3 won't line up. And what some people do, everyone's kind of done it, it's an awkward space, you get your big gun, air gun, whatever it happens to be, battery power gun, and you just fuck the other ones in. It will go in, but it will cross thread, and it just rips all the threads out because they're just not that, they're half a mil off, which is, you know, a huge thing. So also when you got it on, make sure it turns nice and freely, make sure there's no play in it, and then you'll be good to go. So this is the back. We're going to put the new connection on, I should say not the new connection, but we're going to put our connection back on and get the wheels and everything on, and then we're going to see is it going to work. Right, one thing you do want to do, move that torch out of the way, is there is a little bracket that bolts on with 3 bolts with the wheel bearing, and you want to put, and it holds also your brake caliper on, So it's like a little spacer almost, but you want to put that bolt through first, because even though them 3 bolts will line up and go in, this will not. This will be slightly off. So put the bolt in to make sure it doesn't move, then tighten all your bolts up, then you won't have to undo everything and do it all again. Sorted. Okay, all you got to do now is tighten the wheel up. You want a slight bit of drag on this disc, very, very slight, and put the wheel back on, and we're going to test everything to see if the light comes back on and see if we have to go any further. We 100% know that this wheel bearing was dodgy, but I also told the customer we might have an issue with the ABS module as well, just because of the way it was acting, how it was shutting off completely, shutting completely dead when this wheel bearing was going faulty. Now, I haven't done lots of work on these Hyundai, so I don't know if that's the actual way it's supposed to be set up. I haven't seen any other car like that for wheel bearings or for ABS sensors, so we still might have an issue with the module. So I have explained that to the customer, but we knew there's an issue with this. Let me get the wheel on and we'll do a bit more testing. Right, does it start with no lights on? Yes. Okie dokie. Let's drive out of the shed. It's doing it in a cow shed. Alright, so let me take this for a drive and we'll see what the story is. Right, we're driving and it all seems good. Let me put the window up. It all seems good, but then it was a very, very intermittent issue anyway. I think she said, you know, it literally could, and even the other garage said he had it for 2 days, it never did it. He could do it in once every couple of weeks. So, like I said, I don't know the exact strategy of this particular system. I don't see why they would completely and utterly shut down the ABS system, because doing that wouldn't give you any fault codes. I got no fault code to that sensor. We got a completely different fault code for the steering, because it was affecting the steering, it was making the steering do all this. And this is why you can't always trust your fault codes. This is where experience comes in, a bit of luck comes in, you know, a kind of bit of everything. So yeah, I don't see why it would do that, unless the way the sensor was shorting itself out, you know, it was sending weird power back to the module and it shut itself down so it wouldn't blow up. That's what a lot of injector drivers do and ECUs and stuff, to stop, you know, the whole thing blowing up. That's a possibility, but I don't see why it should just shut down the whole system, because like I said, you'll get no error code. So we still might have an issue with the ABS module, but time will tell. Time will tell. But as always, hope it helps. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Don't forget, links up here, links down below, but most important, don't forget, get your hands dirty. See you for the next one. Sorted.